Hey, what's up, guys? So today's question is absolutely wild. What if you were born in ancient Egypt? As a pyramid worker, not as a pharaoh, not as a high priest living in a palace, not even as a merchant sipping wine by the Nile. No, as the actual guy building the pyramid with his bare hands under a sun that is basically trying to kill you every single day. Stick around because this one gets intense. You open your eyes for the very first time inside a tiny mud brick house right on the banks of the Nile River. The air smells like wet clay, animal dung, and the faint hope of a better life. Emphasis on faint. Your dad is a farmer, not a rich one. Every single year when the Nile floods, he loses half his crops and just smiles about it. Why? Because in his mind, the pharaoh is literally a god walking on earth. And if the god needs the Nile to flood, well, that's just the god doing god things. You grow up in this world and where questioning the pharaoh is basically the same as questioning the sun rising. It just doesn't happen. Before you even learn to walk properly, someone hands you a small hoe and points at a dirt field. Welcome to your life, buddy. You grow up in this world where questioning the pharaoh is basically the same as questioning the sun rising. Years pass. You grow up skinny, sunbaked, calloused, and surprisingly strong from years of fieldwork. And then one morning, everything changes. A group of Pharaoh's officials march into your village. They're wearing spotless white linen, shiny gold collars, and the kind of expression that says, everything you own technically belongs to us. They walk around inspecting the young men like they're choosing melons at a market. And then they point at you. Now, here's the thing most people don't know: you are not a slave. Modern historians and archaeologists have confirmed this. You are a free Egyptian citizen being recruited, basically drafted, for a national project. So you're not being kidnapped. But you're also not exactly saying no, because saying no to the pharaoh's officials in 2500 BC is not a survivable career move. Your mom cries, your dad nods proudly, and you walk out of your village probably never to return the same way you left. After days of walking through the desert, no AC, no sunscreen, no snacks, you finally arrive at Giza. And I need you to understand something. Nothing, absolutely nothing could have prepared you for what you see. The Great Pyramid is already half built, rising from the sand like something placed there by a force that is definitely not human. Thousands of men are everywhere, shouting, dragging, pulling, sweating, bleeding. Dust fills the air so thick you can barely see 10 meters ahead, and you just stand there, jaw completely on the floor, thinking, did aliens build this? Spoiler alert, my friend, they did not, because you are about to help build it with your tiny, very human, very mortal hands. All right, let's talk about your daily schedule. You wake up before sunrise, and I mean way before sunrise, because your overseer does not care about your beauty sleep. Breakfast is served. Here is today's menu: hard sourdough bread, raw onion, and a big jar of beer. And before you get excited, calm down. This is not party beer. This is thick, barely fermented, almost porridge-like liquid that they use instead of water because clean drinking water in 2500 BC is basically a luxury item. But hey, at least you're eating. You finish your bread, drink your weird breakfast beer, tie a cloth around your waist, and march out into the already brutal desert heat every single day, 7 days a week, with no weekends, no holidays, no sick days, just you, the sun, the sand, and 2.5 tons of limestone waiting for you up that ramp. Your specific job is this: you help drag massive limestone blocks up a construction ramp using thick ropes tied to a wooden sled. Each block weighs at least 2.5 tons. That is roughly the same as 2 full-grown hippopotamuses. Just so you have a clear visual, you work in a team of around 40 men, all pulling the same rope, all screaming internally. Your hands are covered in raw blisters by day 3. By week 2, you literally cannot feel your palms anymore, which is actually a blessing because at least it stops hurting. Your spine slowly curves under the weight of the work. Your shoulders get permanently rounded. You develop the posture of a man 3 times your age. And here is the terrifying part: one wrong move, one snapped rope, and that 2.5 ton block slides back. And then it is game over for you and everyone behind you. So you don't make wrong moves, you just keep pulling. Here is where things get dark. As the pyramid grows taller, the ramps get steeper, the heat gets worse as you climb higher, and the margin for error gets smaller and smaller. One day, and I'm not going to sugarcoat this, The man working right next to you faints from heat exhaustion and falls. From height. And here is the most brutal part. The work does not stop. Nobody blows a whistle. Nobody calls a timeout. The blocks keep moving. Because the pharaoh has an afterlife to prepare for and the schedule does not wait for grief. That night, back at the workers' camp, you pray harder than you have ever prayed for anything in your short, hard life. You pray to Ra, you pray to Osiris, you pray to anyone who will listen, and then you drink your beer and pass out on your mat, because tomorrow you do it all again. Okay, let's take a breath here, because here is something that might genuinely surprise you. You are actually treated pretty well. Relatively speaking, you get real meat, beef, fish, sometimes even duck. Not every day, but enough. You have access to actual doctors, trained physicians who can set broken bones, treat infections, and perform surgeries that would impress people centuries later. You work in rotating teams so you get rest days. And those teams, they have actual names. Like sports teams, archaeologists found the records. Your team might be called something like Friends of Khufu or Drunkards of Menkaure, and I am 100% not making that up. Look it up, and here is the biggest thing of all. When this pyramid is finished, your name will be recorded, carved into stone. You will literally leave your mark on one of the greatest structures in human history. Not many people in 2500 BC can say that. Years pass. Your body ages faster than it should. You're in your early 30s, but your back feels like it belongs to a 60-year-old. Your lungs are full of limestone dust. Your hands are permanently calloused into something that barely resembles human skin. But then, the day arrives. The day the pyramidion is placed. The pyramidion is the very tip of the pyramid, a small, perfectly polished capstone covered in electrum, which is a mix of gold and silver. And when the sun hits it at the right angle, the entire Giza plateau lights up. You're standing there at the base, surrounded by thousands of workers, and you watch that golden tip catch the sunlight, and something in your chest, some part of you that survived all of it, breaks open in the best possible way. You helped build this, with your hands, with your sweat, with your broken spine and your calloused palms and your very human stubborn refusal to give up. This pyramid will stand for literally thousands of years, and somewhere in those stones is you. You live to around 40 years old, which, in ancient Egypt, actually makes you a pretty old guy. Your lungs give out from years of stone dust. Your spine never straightens again. But on your last morning sitting by the Nile, the same river you were born beside, you feel something unexpected. Peace. They bury you near the pyramid in a small tomb with your name on it. They leave bread and beer for your journey. And thousands of years from now, people will stand in front of that pyramid and ask, how did they build this? And the answer is you. Skinny, sun-baked, beer-drinking, rope-pulling, history-making you. So that is what life would have been like if you were born as a pyramid worker in ancient Egypt. Pretty brutal, pretty glorious, and 100% dust in your lungs. All right, guys, that's it for today. If you enjoyed this, smash that like button, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.